In a prestigious university, rich girl Vanessa torments Jamal, a quiet black student she brands as poor. But on graduation day, a jaw-dropping revelation flips her world upside down, exposing secrets that shatter her arrogance. Buckle up for a wild ride of betrayal, redemption, and epic twists. If you're loving this roller coaster of a story, hit that subscribe button and join our community for more gripping tales. Don't miss out. Let's dive into the drama together. Vanessa Worthington strode through the manicured quad of Crestwood University like she owned it. Her designer heels clicked against the cobblestone path, and her perfectly styled blonde hair caught the sunlight, drawing envious glances from students scurrying to class. At 21, she was the undisputed queen of Crestwood's social hierarchy, her family's wealth and influence casting a long shadow over the elite private institution in upstate New York. Her father, a real estate tycoon, had donated millions too. The university, ensuring Vanessa's every whim, was catered to. Professors fawned over her, administrators bent over backward, and her sorority sisters followed her like loyal subjects. But Vanessa wasn't just known for her charm or her family's. Mani Shi was infamous for her cruelty, especially toward those she deemed beneath her. And no one bore the brunt of her venom more than Jamal Carter. Jamal was a junior. Like Vanessa, but that's where their similarities ended. He was black, quiet, and kept to himself, always seen in the same worn hoodie and faded jeans.
His scholarship
Status was no secret, whispered about in dorms and dining halls, and Vanessa had zeroed in on him from their first week of freshman year. To her, Jamal was an easy target, a charity case who didn't belong in her polished world. She'd mock him in the lecture halls, accidentally spill coffee on his books, and spread rumors that he was only at Crestwood because of affirmative action. Her favorite jab was calling him the poor kid in front of her clique, her voice dripping with condescension as she flicked her eyes toward his scuffed sneakers. Jamal never fought back. He'd just lower his gaze, shoulders hunched, and walk away, his silence only fueling Vanessa's smug satisfaction. What Vanessa didn't know, what no one at Crestwood knew, was that Jamal wasn't who he appeared to be. Beneath his unassuming exterior was a secret so explosive it would unravel her perfect world. But that revelation was still months away. Simmering beneath the surface, as the fall semester of their junior year began. It started in economics. 301, a required course for business majors. Vanessa sat in the front row, her laptop adorned with a monogrammed case, while Jamal slipped into a seat at the back. The professor, Dr. Hargrove, a balding man with a penchant for tangents, announced a semester-long group project worth 40% of their grade. Vanessa groaned. Inwardly, she hated group work, especially when it meant carrying dead weight. When Dr. Hargrove read out the pairings, her stomach dropped. Vanessa Worthington and Jamal Carter. Her head whipped around, her blue eyes narrowing as they landed on Jamal, who was scribbling notes, seemingly unbothered. Her friends snickered, and one leaned over to whisper, "Good luck with the charity case." Vanessa's lips curled into a smirk, but inside, she was fuming. She'd have to do all the work herself, as usual. After class, she cornered Jamal by the lecture hall door. "Listen," she said, her tone sharp. "I'm not failing this project because of you. You'll do exactly what I say. Got it?" Looked up, his dark eyes steady, but unreadable. "Sure," he said softly, his voice calm. Vanessa scoffed, tossing her hair. "Don't screw this up, poor kid." She turned on her heel and left, missing the faint flicker of something resolve, maybe in Jamal's expression. Over the next few weeks, Vanessa made the project a living hell for Jamal. She assigned him the grunt work: data entry, formatting, citations, while she took credit for the big ideas. During their meetings in the library, she'd talk over him, dismiss his suggestions, and once, in front of their study group, she jokingly asked if he could afford the coffee they were drinking. The others laughed, but Jamal just kept working, his fingers flying across his beat-up laptop. Vanessa assumed he was too intimidated to speak up. She was wrong. One evening, while Vanessa was at a sorority party, Jamal was in his dorm, a cramped, single room he'd fought to keep private. His desk was cluttered with books, a cracked phone, and a photo of a smiling woman in her 50s, his mother, Angela, who'd raised him alone in a small apartment in Brooklyn. Jamal wasn't at Crestwood on a whim. He'd earned his scholarship through grit, acing every test, winning every debate, and outworking everyone around him. But that wasn't the whole story. As he sat at his desk, he opened a secure email. From a lawyer named Mr. Ellison. The subject line read, "Carter Trust Update." Jamal scanned the message, his jaw tightening. His trust was now valued at $1.2 billion and growing. He closed the email, leaned back, and exhaled. He wasn't ready to reveal it yet, not until the time was right. The trust came. From his late father, Marcus Carter, tech genius who'd founded a startup in the early 2000s, Marcus had died when Jamal was 10, leaving behind a company that was quietly acquired by a conglomerate for an obscene sum. The money was locked in a trust, accessible only when Jamal turned 22 or graduated college, whichever came first. His mother had insisted he keep it a secret, even from his closest friends. People change when they know, she'd warned. So Jamal played the part of the poor scholarship kid, letting people like Vanessa underestimate him. It was easier that way. But as her taunts grew nastier, his patience began to fray. The first twist came midway through the semester. Vanessa, confident she'd nailed their project presentation, stood in front of the class, delivering their analysis of market trends. Jamal sat silently, letting her bask in the spotlight. Dr. Hargrove nodded approvingly, but then raised a hand. "Vanessa, your data modeling is impressive, but I'd like to hear from Jamal." He submitted a separate appendix with some asterisk unconventional projections. Vanessa froze, her smile faltering. Separate appendix? She hadn't approved anything like that. Jamal stood, calm as ever, and explained his medulla bold prediction about renewable energy stocks that contradicted Vanessa's conservative approach. The class was riveted. Dr. Hargrove called it visionary. Vanessa's face burned as she realized Jamal had outshone her without even trying. Asterisk that night, she cornered him again, this time outside the library. "What was that?" she snapped. "You went behind my back." Jamal shrugged. "I just did the work. You said you wanted an A." His tone was neutral, but there was an edge to it, a quiet challenge. "Gah!" Vanessa stormed off, her mind racing. Who did he think he was? She doubled down, spreading a rumor that Jamal had cheated on the project, hoping to tarnish his moment. But the rumor backfired. Dr. Hargrove publicly praised Jamal's integrity, and Vanessa's credibility took a hit. Her friends started whispering, wondering if she was losing her touch. Asterisk by spring semester, Vanessa's obsession with humiliating Jamal had intensified. She didn't know why he got under her skin. Maybe it was his unshakable calm or the way he never seemed to care about her status. She orchestrated a prank, convincing her sorority to accidentally lock him out of a study room he'd booked for finals prep. Jamal arrived to find the door barred, Vanessa and her friends giggling inside. He knocked once, then walked away. What Vanessa didn't see was Jamal pulling out his phone and texting someone. "It's time." The second twist came at the annual Crestwood Gala, a glitzy event where donors and alumni mingled with top students. Vanessa, in a $5,000 gown, was in her element, charming a tech billionaire named Richard Langston, noticed Jamal across the room, looking out of place in a rented tux. Smirking, she sidled up to Langston and said, "That's the scholarship kid I was telling you about. Doesn't really fit in, does he?" Langston raised an eyebrow, glancing at Jamal. "Interesting," he said, his tone cryptic. Vanessa didn't notice, too busy basking in her own wit. What she didn't know was that Langston was a close friend of Jamal's late father. He was also the executor of the Carter Trust, and he'd been watching Vanessa all night at Jamal's request. Langston excused himself and approached Jamal, pulling him aside. "You sure you want to wait until graduation?" he asked. Jamal nodded. "I wanted to hit hard." Langston chuckled. "It will." As graduation day approached, Vanessa's cruelty reached new heights. She hacked into Jamal's student account. Easy enough with her connections in the admin office, and changed his transcript to show a failing grade in economics. She thought it would get him kicked out, or at least delay his degree. But Jamal, ever resourceful, had backups. He'd been documenting everything: her taunts, her pranks, even the hack. He sent the evidence to the dean, anonymously, and the university launched an investigation. Vanessa was called in, her face pale as the dean presented screenshots of her login activity. She stammered, claiming it was a misunderstanding, but the damage was done. She was suspended from the graduation ceremony, humiliating blow for someone of her status. Determined to salvage her reputation, Vanessa concocted a final plan to destroy Jamal's credibility. She enlisted her ex-boyfriend Ethan, a computer science major with a grudge against Jamal for outscoring him in a coding competition. Together, they fabricated a plagiarism scandal, planting doctored files on Jamal's cloud drive to make it look like he'd stolen his economics project from an obscure online source. Vanessa leaked the evidence to the student newspaper, expecting it to go viral and ruin Jamal before graduation. She even paid a junior reporter to push the story, framing it as a cautionary tale about unqualified scholarship students. The article hit the stands a week before commencement, and whispers spread like wildfire. Vanessa watched from the sidelines, smug, as students pointed at Jamal in the dining hall. But something felt off. Jamal didn't react. No panic, no defense. He just kept attending classes, his expression serene. Vanessa's confidence wavered when she overheard a professor mention that the plagiarism case was under-reviewed by an external auditor, someone named Richard Langston. Her heart sank. Langston, the billionaire from the gala. She brushed it off, convincing herself it was a coincidence. But late one night, Ethan called her in a panic. "The files," he stammered, "they're gone. Someone wiped them and replaced them with security logs." Vanessa's blood ran cold. The logs, emailed to her anonymously, showed her own IP address accessing Jamal's account. She'd been set up. Jamal had anticipated her move, using her own tactics against her. He'd contacted Langston, who'd hired a cybersecurity firm to trace the hack. The firm not only cleared Jamal, but also uncovered Vanessa's entire scheme, including her payments to the reporter. The dean summoned her again, this time threatening expulsion. Her father's influence got her a reprieve. She was barred from speaking at graduation and ordered to issue a public apology. Vanessa, humiliated but defiant, refused to apologize, believing her family's name would shield her. She had no idea how wrong she was, or that Jamal's final move was about to redefine her world. Asterisk, the final twist came on graduation day. Vanessa, allowed to attend as a spectator after her father pulled strings, sat in the audience, fuming. Jamal walked across the stage to collect his diploma, his mother beaming in the crowd. The university president, Dr. Ellison, took the podium for a special announcement. "Today, we honor a remarkable alumnus who has made an extraordinary contribution to Crestwood." Vanessa rolled her eyes, expecting another donor speech. Then Dr. Ellison said, "Jamal Carter, please join me." The audience murmured as Jamal returned to the stage. Dr. Ellison continued, "Through the Carter Trust, Jamal has donated $500 million to Crestwood, effectively making him the university's majority stakeholder. In essence, he owns this institution." The crowd gasped. Vanessa's jaw dropped, her champagne flute slipping from her hand and shattering on the floor. Jamal, the poor kid, was a billionaire. He owned the university she'd lorded over for 4 years. Jamal took the microphone, his voice steady. "This place gave me a chance, but it also showed me how people like me are treated. I'm here to change that. Starting with accountability." He looked directly at Vanessa, who shrank in her seat. The crowd erupted in applause, but Vanessa felt the weight of every eye on her. Her empire had crumbled. In the weeks that followed, the truth unraveled further. Jamal's trust-funded scholarships for hundreds of students, prioritizing those from underserved communities. Vanessa's family, humiliated by her actions, cut her off, forcing her to face the real world without her safety net. She tried to apologize to Jamal, but he simply said, "You don't get to rewrite the past." He wasn't vengeful. He was moving forward, building a legacy his father would be proud of. Vanessa, meanwhile, faded into obscurity. Her name, a cautionary tale at Crestwood. Jamal's story spread across campus, then the country, inspiring countless others. He didn't need to flaunt his wealth or power. He'd won by being himself, brilliant and unbreakable. Wow, what a journey. We'd love to know where you're watching this epic story from. Drop your city or state in the comments below. If you enjoyed this tale of triumph and twists, like, share, and subscribe for more. Let's keep the drama rolling.